Alright, so another VOD review for Jinx, the Jester. Um, Now, in this one, I will be talking a little slower, and I will try to be more concise with the information that I give. I understand in the last video that I was a little sporadic, and maybe a little I maybe gave a little bit too much information at once, but that's because I had scrim in like an hour, and I was trying to get it all done in one take. This will also still be one take, but this will be more of a genuine, concise, detailed, well, as detailed as possible, um, in-depth look on what it means to look at decision making and thought process from my point of view as a eternity tank player. Passing the knowledge down to Jinx the Jester, who wanted a VOD review. So, in the last video, I talked about the importance of push and pull, and I also talked about the importance of alt economy. We're not going to go over these, I'm not going to go over these in this video, because like I said in the last one, I heavily recommended that you watch other coaches from Overwatch that have already gone very in depth about this topic because they teach it very often. So they'll have a better understanding and a better way to teach it to other people than I do. I know it as a player instinctively because it's second nature to me now, but it's really hard. Since I'm not a coach, it's very hard for me to get that information out to other people. However, what I can do is walk you through some of the decision making that I make whenever I'm playing tank in this game as a former Overwatch player. And I can give you some things to think about. Like I said in the last video, I'm still new to the game, and not everything that I say is entirely correct. Some things may work for me, some things may work for me, some things may work for other people. But I just want to have you start thinking about these things more so that you can adapt it into your own gameplay, if that makes any sense. Gonna be starting in this VOD. It's gonna be Strange gameplay and Peni gameplay, if I'm not mistaken. Somewhere in here, pretty sure Jinx switches to Peni. Strange is a hybrid tank. He can be played in many compositions. He can be played in dive as like an anchor. He can be played in brawl as one of the main characters that make space. He can be played in poke as like one of the main characters that hold space. He's really good at doing a lot of things. Same with Magneto. Although Magneto's not as versatile because of the lack of vertical movement that Strange provides. So there's a lot of things that Strange can do, and there's a lot of things that you should be thinking about as Strange. So for example, actually I'll get into the examples when we get into game. Let's hold that thought right now and look at our team. So we're on Bucky, Black Panther, Mantis, Adam, Cloak and Dagger. You're all more of a brawl team. Actually, I don't know if these are like final picks. Hold on, let's see.
They'll be coming in 30 seconds.
This ain't my
Stay
first
strong.
rodeo. Sure as hell.
Give me
won't
1
be
second.
My last.
Okay, yeah, we're on the same comp. So in this comp, you're more of a brawl team, a brawl dive hybrid. Like you want to look to play with your Bucky, have him look for pulls and stuff, and then your like in this instance, if this was scrims, we would have like the Mantis off angle and look for slight off angles to get some damage out while being within reach to heal and give damage boost to people. Black Panther would look to dive the back line as the push is being made, so it's like a collapse. And then you have the high sustain from Cloak and Dagger, so you can brawl while that's happening. Your brawl window is a little bit higher because you have 3 supports, while their team has they have arguably better brawl because they have Strange, Thor, Bucky, Wolverine, and then Loki Mantis. Now their support comp has good healing, has good sustain. Your support comp has more sustain, but what they have over you that makes their brawl better is obviously the Wolverine and Thor. Those 2 characters are really good at brawl, and Wolverine is very good at displacing the enemy's tank during the brawl, the fight, the early and mid fight stage, and does a lot of damage towards tank shredding. So it's really, for this instance, into this kind of team comp, it's actually better to not TP high ground and fight for them high ground. Or if you do, you bait them into your space and then have your Black Panther pincer them from behind. But in this instance, you can kind of just go to main, have maybe 2 people, say your Black Panther and your Mantis, go to the top left high ground and wrap around and look for an angle to get access to the enemy team before pushing. And while that's happening, you can have everyone else poke at their front line and distract them before everyone's ready for the push. Because if you just straight out brawl them, it's going to be a very hard. Like your odds are not in your the odds are not in your favor, right? So it'd be better. Oh, you have Star-Lord now. Yeah, now you have no brawl. Well, now you have like a more poke hybrid. So it's just better to just take angles around the enemy team.
The battle starts in 5,
Um,
4, 3,
in order to like
1.
make that pincer. You can have Star-Lord and Mantis go top left now, and that's like huge actually. But yeah, if you just straight up brawl them, you're not gonna win. You have like a 30 to 40% chance of winning that. But if everyone plays correctly, on paper, you will lose. TPing here,
Every spell cast has its price.
like I said, I wouldn't recommend it. You obviously don't know what team they're on. This is where I would use as like from my perspective, this is where before TPing, like I would go for this TP play, but before TPing, I would look to scout their team. Like I would relay the information to my team. I'd be like, oh, they're on this one, or relay the information to myself so I know where we should actually be TPing. So I'd look at their team. I'd look at their team through me setting up portal. I'm like, okay, this is what they're on. What is my team? How does my team want to play into that? Where can I TP us? So that's how I would do that. But then, additionally, in higher ranks, people are going to try to read your TP, your portal, and they're going to try to put up their portal in front of yours in order to get your team to jump off the map. So what you can do is actually set the portal don't have the portal be set in front of you before you take out the portal, or before you move when you take out the portal. You want to press left click and reposition it, so you can either put it to the left of you or the right of you. Those are standard. I do some unorthodox stuff and I put it like diagonal to me. You know what I mean? Like you want to get a little bit creative so that your TP doesn't get blocked and it ruins your whole TP for the next 3 minutes. But this person, yeah, see, this is what I mean. This is exactly what I mean. So they put the TP in a way that forces you off the map. You see what I mean? So now your TP's been rendered useless, unfortunately. So that's one thing to be kind of looking out for. Now here, I would avoid going right side just because they have better brawl. You obviously haven't scouted the team, so you don't know that yet. But after I've identified that, I would either So after, if I were to make this push without knowing this, I would identify what their team comp is. Poking their backline is fine here, but I would actually, I would fly up, and then, so me personally, I would fly up in the air, and then see if it's possible for me to take the high ground. Sorry, I'm stretching. I would see if it's possible for me to take the high ground without worry. Obviously, this leaves your team in a bad position, but like, they shouldn't be able to hard push into your team. If they do hard push into your team, you can then shoot them. You can then walk in from behind them and pincer them and punish them for that. But I would try to, I would low key try to just like get a positional advantage, which then makes space for your team. If I can't take the high ground, I just come back and then I look for another ankle to go down. But yeah, you don't have to be really scared of. See, this is you have to be careful. Yeah, so their whole team is built on Wolverine doing just that, which is why I would recommend going down main into a Wolverine team if you identify that with your portal, because he wants short distances to like you get his value from his cooldowns, and if you put him down a long distance, he doesn't really get that much value. Like it takes him longer to get to you, which then doesn't get that much value. Anyway, just kind of every time you respawn, you want to think about what you can do next. Like how do you want to approach the next fight? It looks like you guys are gonna go down main. And you see how Wolverine's like top left? This is perfect time. Yep. He's out the fight. No E. So this is perfectly fine. From my perspective, from what I would do, again, in the last video I talked about waiting to you want to use your E to confirm kills. Essentially, you want it to land. You don't want to just use it willy nilly. Like if you want to be certain that you'll be able to hit your E. Your E is your biggest. Like if you had your E right here, this guy would be dead. Or vice versa, if you had your E, the strange would be dead. Like if you use your E when you knew it would hit the strange, he would also be dead. You want to use you don't want to just like explode the E. You want to, when it's at 100 and there's nothing to use it on, yes, you want to get rid of it so you don't get anti-heal. Right, but you want to manage you want to kind of be managing your bar. If it looks like it's not a good area to press E and you could use it somewhere else, sometimes I very well just hold it at 98 right before it gets to 100, and then when I know I can get like huge burst damage, I get it to 100 and I instantly burst it, knowing that I can confirm a kill or something. Let's just see what happens here. You use support ult, playing the support ult, playing the cloak and dagger ult if you can. If you play in the cloak and dagger ult, if you tell your team to play in the cloak and dagger ult, they cannot kill you through it unless they one-shot you. So I really do like you peeling for your backline now. This is good. Wolverine kind of really cringe, but you know, there's that. So let's walk step by step on a few things I want to talk about. So number one, when I'm playing Strange, what I like to think about is, okay, I've gotten my E. What do I want to use it on? Do I want to use it on frontline and blow up his shield in order for him to like give us more space? Do I want to use it on a backliner, so like a support or a DPS, in order to confirm a kill or at least scare them into walking away so that the Strange gets less help? Do I want to? This is the risky one that I do. Whenever I'm at 100 charge, I fly up. I hover right above them and press E to see if I can get all of them in the E and get maximum alt charge damage. Or alt charge. Sorry, not damage. That's just a few things that I think about. But you want to be thinking about where do you want to use the E? Your E is very crucial in your kit. It's the most powerful thing in your kit. There's that. Number 2, when so I don't know if you did it here. I think you did, if I'm not mistaken. No, I didn't really see it. Okay, number 2 is not important, so I guess I'll say it anyway. Number 2 is not important for this instance. It may be useful in the future though. Just like the left click melee combo, you can left click and then shield. This just makes sure that you don't take as much damage when walking up or when trying to build your E. Side note to that thought, when the reload bar is about 60%, or when you see Strange's hands revert back to normal in the animation, in the reload animation, you can shield and cancel the reload. You can cancel the reload animation, and by the time his hands reach back to by the time his hands come back to normal in the animation, your ammo will have already been refilled to 8. It's just it saves a little bit of time. It's not super necessary. And then number 3, obviously you weren't able to keep track of it here, but eventually you'll get to the point when you're playing Strange, you'll be able to keep track of when the enemy Strange has ult, to which you can do a number of things, but 2 main things. When you know that the Strange has ult, you can hard mark him to make sure that he never gets a good ultimate off, or either dies trying, etc. And if you hard mark him, you'll be able to block his ult from your team, because most Stranges make it very obvious when they want to go for it. Or number 2, you can hit his backline first with an ult because you know he's going to go for it. But then that's up to a matter of individual skill and not so much macro. It's up to individual skill whether or not you trade more people on his team than your team, and which it's a very risky move. If you know that you can do it, go for it. But that's just kind of the 3 things that I wanted to talk about in that small segment.
Mortal pain is no match for
I don't think I'll be able to do a
recap.
recap or a synopsis at the end of this video, because there's going to be there might be a lot of things that I will say, but I'll try my best. But here, how we're going to attack this point. Obviously you want to have your Star-Lord get angles and stuff like that, because he has Star-Lord ult, and it's really powerful into their comp since they have nothing to counter it. You know that they have Loki copy, but Star-Lord can kill through Mantis ult, and Star-Lord can kill before Loki is able to fully copy Mantis and use ult. That just happened. You have to focus him in that instance. But you can kind of look to go for an ult here. Good stuff. Good stuff. Pretty good. I would help with the yep. I want to see. I see. I'm not sure if I have seen it yet, but let's see if let's have this. I'm gonna have this play out, obviously, and then I'm gonna see if what I want to talk about has been done correctly or not. And if it hasn't, then I will mention it. But let's go ahead and skip forward to the next team fight, because it doesn't look like they're gonna be touching anytime soon. Here, I would be less focused on. Actually, I'm not gonna. That's fine. I'll say that's fine. But I want you to be thinking about how you want to take the next fight, because you know they're gonna approach from main in order to stop cart. I want you to start thinking about like, what is the enemy team gonna do? How are they gonna approach this next fight? How can I approach this next fight? What can we do, etc. Like here I would, if I was maybe I can show it. See, maybe I can show it. So I would be less focused on sitting on cart, and me personally, I would actually be here scouting the enemy team to see their rotate and also get some early poke damage. And then once I see them push up, I would fall back to like this corner, or I would fall back to this corner and prepare for our next team fight. Some small stuff like that. Alright, let's go back to F7. But yeah, you wanna. Okay, so this is what I wanted to talk about. In this game, there's a lot of leeway between people being in the middle of the open and just attacking the enemy team. There's a lot of leeway, so people tend to fall into the habit of just running at they see the enemy team and they just run at them. What I want you to do to be different from the masses is to play cover. So like I was saying, right? Play like this natural cover, or play like this natural cover. You'll still be able to shoot them. However, there's a higher possibility of you taking less damage. This also increases the uptime of your shield. You're not having to burn your shield in order to just live in main. Because doing this, this whole entire backline can see you, and one of them is, where's Wolverine actually? I don't know where Wolverine is, but pretty much all like his whole backline can shoot you right now and burn resources. Oh, I see Wolverine. But playing corners or playing like cover, like here, makes it harder for them to get shots on you, which makes it harder for them to force you to use shield and force your enemy support, or your not enemy, sorry, and it makes it easier for your supports because they don't have to constantly pump healing into you. A lot of people fall into the trap of supports in a team game exist to support me. No, the correct like way is support exists to support the team in the most optimal way possible. So if you're not playing to the best of your ability and you're just out in the open taking a bunch of damage, forcing your supports to just like hard pocket you, that's not good. Because that's what we call burning resources. And so burning resources is never a good thing because that makes it easier for the enemy team to push in because you're having to give up space. I might be a little bit too loud. You're having to give up space, and you're having to burn your support cooldowns or your support ammo, etc. You want to keep it to a minimum. You want to try to keep it to a minimum. Obviously, when you go for a push, you can then push out into open space and brawl them. But like in pre-fight, burning your support cooldowns is not good. Supports do not exist to solely keep you alive. They exist to help the team win. They have support cooldowns and they have healing cooldowns to help the team win. They aren't because they don't exist for you to make selfish decisions. I don't want you to be a selfish player is what I'm saying. They don't exist to make selfish decisions or to like bail. They don't exist to bail you out of your selfish decisions. Like if you were to run it down, I've seen this in games plenty of times. Like I've seen Strange run it down into the back line and then go, where are my healers? Well, you're flying into 4 people. Like no one, that's not how, don't do stuff like that. You have obviously in the past, in this VOD, in the last VOD, you haven't done that. I'm just giving an example. And yeah, I want you to be the freer that you're able to think and play more optimally, the higher chance at success rate you'll have in a team fight. I think that's me. But anyway,
By the eye of Agamotto! By the eye of Agamotto!
Yeah. So keeping in mind that my thing still is peaking. I'm so sorry. I just realized that this whole time I've been going into the red on my OBS, and I apologize. I don't have, oh my god, bro. I don't have everything set up properly on this PC that I'm at. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about is a tall tale sign that a strange is going to, hold on. A tall tale sign that a strange is going to go for an ultimate in this rank and in the higher ranks as well. It becomes a little less obvious. But a tall tale is when they fly up. Every single strange knows to fly up and press alt. So when you see a strange fly up, you want to be thinking like, okay, what is he going to go for? You want to look at him and you want to react to whatever he's going to go for. If he goes for nothing, that's fine. But if you see him start to charge up his Agamotto, you'll already be looking at him. So then you can shield off the Agamotto from your team, and they won't get stunned. Just like whenever he flies up, just look at him and be like, what is he doing? Is he doing something? Is he going to go for an ultimate? Is he going to just shoot from above? Is he going to high ground, etc.? If he doesn't go for ultimate, then you can go back to thinking about what you want to do in the team fight or etc. But yeah, that's kind of
Armed and dangerous! Again! Again! Rise, my friend!
Well, oh, that's... Did you get reset? No, this is good. It should be good.
I'm trying to help.
Yeah. Okay. You guys win. That was actually really well played. That was good. I was concerned, but he didn't get the reset, so it didn't matter.
None can withstand my lightning.
Yep, this is good. Stuck and choke. Stuck and choke. Make it hard for them there. Yeah, this is where. So okay, that was good. This is really good actually. I want to talk about this. Holding that choke there is really good when you're wanting to cap. You saw how they had to push in with Mantis Ult. That is their push. Now it is your time. It is your turn to pull. Sorry, not peel. It's your turn to pull. So you want to survive their aggression as much as possible, because they're trying to push in with Mantis Ult. It's going to be hard to kill through unless you have ults to match. And then you push back. So in this instance, you have the cloak ult up, just play in that, and then you'll live. So yeah, you just recognize a little faster that our cloak ult's up. Just live in that one spot, push back into your ult.
Mortal pain is no match for the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah, that's kind of a... I said I wasn't going to go over it, but that was a good example, because you forced out Mantis Ult. And,
Only 60 seconds left.
needed to,
We stopped them in their tracks.
pull their aggression, and then...
Pentagram of Paran.
Anyway.
By the eye of Agamotto.
This is fine. Again, like I said at the beginning of the video, they have a better brawl than you, so TPing on top of them is usually going to be a little difficult.
Down to 30 seconds.
That really just came down
The
to
Sorcerer Supreme lives once more.
But yeah, they have a better brawl than you, so it's going to be hard to just like TP on top of them and try to get the advantage, because Wolverine thrives in brawls, and they now have Iron Fist.
Behold, enemy God of thunder!
Final 10
Oh, it's last. I'm sorry. I got so mind controlled by the Thor. I was like, what is he doing? But it was last fight. Okay.
Time to switch
Anyway.
things up, including which side you're on. You'll need a top-notch
Yeah, there's not
team to
really
win
much
this
to
one.
like super VOD. It's just really in this one it's really just playing natural cover and then understanding how your team wants to approach the team fight, like what do you want to do in order to win this team fight,
what I do,
and then what the enemy team
isn't
wants to
very
do
nice.
to either survive your fight plan, or what their fight plan is going into that team fight. And just
30
like,
seconds before you attack.
are you gonna
Get
play
ready.
to execute your fight plan first, or are you gonna play to ruin
I'm opening a portal.
their fight plan? Oh wait, you know about the... Wait, I was talking about the teleport stuff. You know about it. Yeah, just put your portal to the left or right, man. You know about this already.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2,
Let's see what happens here.
1.
I'm actually curious.
Don't forget,
If you're able to
securing
get
the mission area is your top
What
priority.
is your Thor doing? Why is your Thor up there?
Pentagram of
Like, why is your Thor up there? I'm gonna disregard anything he's doing right now. This is good. Stuff this choke. Okay, let's talk about it. Now what they have is what I like to call the aggression. Like they want on their comp with the group, they want to punish aggression. So they're gonna, obviously when you push, they're gonna wall you off. Just be careful of that. You want to play kind of your distance, but you still want to stuff choke. You don't want to give them too much space. So this is good. You have Punisher to shoot the walls and break the walls easily. These walls should be down these walls should never be up if you have a Punisher.
I am
But yeah, you see how this is good actually. It's perfect actually. You should be able to, like, these walls should be broken. Like, Punisher. Okay, or your Punisher is just not gonna shoot the wall. Like, what is he doing? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, that's what he's doing. I'm sorry. I don't want to be... I'll focus more on...
will strike, and I suspect.
Let's go back.
My life was in
In this instance, there just wasn't any like real target fire,
Hands are
like target
shaking again.
prioritization from your team, but I mean, maybe it might work out in the end. Yeah. Okay, so Penny. What is Penny good at? Penny is good at the same thing that Groot is good at: punishing aggression. She's good at holding down space with her shift and her mines. She's good at punishing flankers, and she's really good at punishing aggression or pushes. So when they push in, stun them. You want them to push into your setup, your shift, spider web stuff, or your mines. You want to set up a bunch of mines so that it makes it really hard for them to push. She's really good at punishing
You know what to do,
logging. The
spiders?
only issue is with Penny, you have to absolutely play cover. Like, since you don't have a shield of your own, you have to play
fire.
natural cover and play around corners and things of that nature in order to not take a bajillion damage, if that makes sense. So yeah, I like this. I like this setup, setting up a bunch of Penny stuff. I don't agree with your Punisher being set up there. You can hold that choke.
Time for some
But they're most
fireworks.
likely TPing here. What the? I didn't think they'd TP like that. But Alright, guys. Yeah, in this instance, I would it's kind of a mixed bag. So you could sit here and shoot them. Personally, I would kite. This is how I would kite. If I saw that they were TPing up here, I would call for my team to kite. Like, everyone kite this way. The squishies and stuff. Kite this way. I'll go over here. And then I, myself, as Penny, I would play down here. Because now they have to full swing into your... It's like, if you look at their sight lines, they can see all of this, but they can't see any of that. So this is actually good. So if you were to have your team play like over here, and you play on your trap, they have to they have to drop down into you. 2, they have to full peek all of your sight lines when you're set up. So this would be a better. This is where I would just be like, just kite their LOS to the right, and then we're gonna bait them into our sight lines and shoot them. Because they're obviously they're TPing like this in order to get you off high ground, which should be successful, yeah. But yeah, if you kite, it's like so in the military there's this thing where like in order to check corners and stuff, it has like this door. I can't really show it. I'm not good at art, but there's like there's like a doorway and there's someone to the immediate right of the doorway. They scan the entire room. They try to scan the entire room, the entire perimeter from outside the doorway in order to not get walk into enemy sight lines. It's the same exact thing. If you stay right here, they cannot see you and they have to peek into you. Obviously there's no cover here. So I'd probably play like here. And then when like 5 of them drop, I'd come over here to where you're at and set up over here. Point is that you want to bait them into sight lines. That's like the main topic of what I'm saying. Because like if you don't, you also if you play outside of their sight lines, they can't burn your health pool. That's also what I'm trying to say.
Time for some fireworks.
There isn't much like immediate tech to do on Peni, besides like setting your traps up early, like your like the only immediate tech I could tell you is setting up, like putting down your webs and setting up mines inside of them in spots where you think that people will most likely walk. It's kind of like a mind game, but there's no like immediate.
Chin up.
Setting up also here is good. They'll probably get broken. Oh no, well. Yeah, setting up on point here is good. Double puncher. Alright. I guess he's number 1. That's fine.
Systems restoring.
But one can still enjoy revenge.
You know what to do, spiders? Time for some fireworks.
Oh, okay. I guess I can tell you that. So, in order for the mines to be invisible, right? Your shift, as you know, puts out a giant spider web. If you put your mines in there, they're completely invisible. When it comes to putting down a web, you have to put the web down first and then put the mines inside of them. Otherwise, they won't be invisible. If you put the mines down and then web them, they will not be invisible.
The enemy is here.
If that makes any sense.
Only 60 seconds left. Mine's in.
Oh wait, actually wait.
Time for some fireworks.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty. If I'm not mistaken, it's web down first. I'm gonna look it up. My apologies. Actually, I actually don't. I believe it's web down first and then mines. Let's see. Mines. Okay, I need to go to the actual Marvel Rivals website because the wiki is not the best spot for. Anyway, let's find Penny. Um, Wait, it's actually not. I have to go in game and look at it. Unfortunately, yeah, I have to go in game and look at it. I can do that, but that's my assumption. Is that like, for what I know, you put the web down first, then put the mines inside
Only
the web.
60 seconds left. In place.
But good stuff.
Your powers are mine!
My trap worked! We are damage.
Jury!
Really good.
Execute!
Really good. See what I mean? Like setting up
By
early.
the eye of Agamotto!
Setting up early. So here's a tip I can tell you actually. Before that, let me praise you. Setting up early is exactly what I just said. And you see what happened? They tried to push in with Mantis Ult, and she instantly died. They tried to push in with Punisher Ult, and he instantly died. Strange almost died. Now here's a tip. So when most Stranges go for the shift into the air and then go down with the ultimate, you want, as Penny, you to be able to hit him 100% of the time, get in the habit of using your, don't try to hit him with the spider web midair, but hit him when he lands. So usually when he lands, there's like a 1 second window where you can stun him out of his strange ult, because it's not the animation isn't fully complete. It's like a 2.5 3 second wind up. And when he jumps up in the air and immediately lands into the ground, he's still winding up the ultimate. So you can stun him when he lands. You want to get into the habit of waiting for him to land. It makes the shot easier, and you'll be able to stun him out of your ult. That happens to me a lot in my games, in which I started. That used to happen to me a lot in my games, in which I started doing different methods of getting my ult off. So I would.
You got my back. Mine's in place.
But 30 seconds. Very good. Let's go to the next team.
We make quite a team. We're being targeted by. It's spider time.
It's boss fight. I guess it's fine. Wait.
Let's do some damage.
I don't think it's.
Oh no.
So. I'm gonna disagree actually. In this instance, when you know that it's last fight, and you know you have ult, I want you to wait to use your ult as long. I want you to wait to you. Let me say this one more time. I want you to wait to use your ult, and I want you to use your ult when they're about to touch point. So when they're about to touch point, I want you to put mines all over the point and make it really hard for them to stay on point. That's perfect. All you have to do is just keep them off. It wastes their time. It makes it so they take a bunch of damage too, trying to get on point. I think it's just better if you use your ult to hard lock down point with mines coming out with the right click, than to use it early in this instance and try to secure them, secure a fight before they, if that makes more sense. So it's probably a fight lost from my guess. But you guys eventually hold them, yes? It looks like.
Plasma?
Maybe not actually.
Burst!
But here,
This is gonna hurt.
this is a decent setup. There isn't really much to VOD when it comes to Peni because
We are undefeatable!
there isn't much to VOD when it comes to. So you're gonna trade Thors here. Much to VOD when it comes to Peni because a lot of holding. I would not push up here.
We're better
I
when
would
we
just
work
walk
together.
forward. Like I wouldn't like.
Snipers, look
Let me
out!
specify. I wouldn't use my movement ability to push up like that. I would just walk forward, and I would preferably want you to use your movement ability to get out of the fight, to leave the fight, in order to like not die. Does that make more sense? Not so like obviously you can use it as a way to close distance, but in a fight like this where it's even or you're up one, it's better to like save that cooldown for something else.
This is gonna hurt.
Res here. Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys know.
Behold the god of thunder!
Oh, another thing, you can stun Thor out. However, do not listen to that advice because in the literal next update tomorrow, they are making it so that Thor cannot be stunned out of his ult. So, as of today, you can stun Thor out of his ult. As of tomorrow, you will no longer be able to stun Thor out of his ult.
By the eye of Agamotto! Of course you needed help.
And Jesus. Yeah. I can try to do a recap real quick.
3, 2,
So,
1.
main things to think about: playing around natural cover, corners, things of that nature. 2, understanding what your fight plan going into the next fight is, what the enemy team fight plan is going into the next fight, how you want to go about those things. Just get yourself thinking. 3, paying attention to the Strange when he flies into the air, or when you know that he has ultimate. 4, I think that's pretty much it. But anyway, yeah, that's what I have for the VOD. I hope that was a little bit more like thought process and less chaotic than last time. Yeah, if there's any more questions, just ask me, and I hopefully will be able to answer. Oh, right, before that, gotta look at the Peni stuff. I'll hopefully be able to answer. Obviously, I won't be able to answer everything, but I will try my best. Let's see.
The spider controlling my suit is small, but fierce. Just like me. Whoever they are, they don't look friendly.
Deploy mines that are concealed within the confines of a spider web. Where is it? Wait. Actually, am I blind? Low key, it doesn't say anything about the mines being invisible.
This is gonna hurt.
Wait. But I'm pretty sure there's a difference. All I know is that mines that are inside.
This is gonna hurt.
Look, I actually don't know. I don't know because it doesn't outright say it, but I always assumed it was like you right click, put the mines down,
This is gonna hurt.
and then they're invisible. Maybe it's done the other way around. I don't know. We'll have someone else figure that out. But yeah, that's it for the video, and yeah.